And then we are backstage at the O2 for Garage Nation, part 2, by the way. And we are joined by our fellow bandmate.
Yo, Romeo. Yeah, we reach.
So, I know you're a man, you don't like being interviewed, right?
I do not like interviews. This, it's only because it's you two, If it was anyone else, I'd be like, nah. The last interview I done was probably about 15 years ago, to be fair. So let's keep this kind of conversational as opposed to interview.
How's your day, both?
My day, today's Good Friday, yeah? My day has been mental. When I say mental, I mean like mad. Like, it's bad Friday for me. Someone's got juju on me or something, man, because today, obviously, I was driving down the M4, got to Reading, car conked out. So I've ended up, car obviously broke down in the fast lane. Had to pay a tow truck to get me off the fast lane, which cost about 400 quid or something like that.
Wow.
He got me to the next service station, then I had to pay a next tow driver to take my car to a mechanics, then I had to jump on the train and then catch about 3 different trains all the way to London O2 to meet you guys. So yeah, it's one of them days.
We ain't gonna forget today.
Oh, yeah, one of them days.
Today, we did it last time, right?
Yeah,
it was here, 20,000 people.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
Why'd you jump on stage?
I just hope I don't trip up because I'm having so much bad luck today. I hope I don't trip up or drop or my mic falls out my hand or anything crazy. I just hope it's all straight down the line and all the bad luck is behind me.
We had the Neo up here,
yeah,
and Maxwell, and they were talking about like old school, us being a massive influence because when they saw us on television, it was like what they'd seen in the streets, and us being the first to actually bring what they saw in the streets to television, to the mainstream.
Yeah.
What was your... I've never asked you this. What was your experience on that transition for you?
The transition for me, I'll be honest with you, everything felt... It's different to nowadays. Back then, it just felt organic. Everything felt natural. When you're in the studio, every single snare, every single beat, every single lyric that you was writing all came from an organic place. It came from the universe. It wasn't, regurgitated or, taken from anywhere else. Like when I wrote, "Oh no, that's the word," that came from, it came from me. You know what I mean? There wasn't no other influences involved.
That's how I feel now. That I've been infected by everyone else's music.
Yeah.
Whereas when we was first in studio, you're literally just making what you want to make.
Yeah.
There's no almost influence.
Exactly. There was no influence. Yeah, it literally started from scratch. And obviously my story is quite different. I don't think I've ever told this story. But it's because I don't do interviews. But I started off as a wire boy. Like a wire boy. So I was like 6 years old at my uncle's sound system, and I was going to every single day, all day event and night events and stuff. And my uncle would always make me string up the wires because I wasn't strong enough to pick up the tweeter boxes. So as soon as I was strong enough, I picked up the tweeter boxes. Then I became a box boy. I was picking up the big boxes. Then he taught me how to work the EQs and how to manage frequencies and stuff. And it's literally starting from rock bottom. And I was actually reflecting on this the other day. It's funny you asked me this today. I was reflecting and thinking, coming from literally rock bottom, a wire boy, and seeing them, how things have evolved into where music is now. It's almost like I'm proud of where the scene has gone, and I'm proud of all of our accomplishments. But I still feel like there's more to do. I still feel like we've got a lot more in us, and I feel like every single garage artist has been, I take my hat off. I can, actually take my hat off and clap my hands and say, what, well done, fair play, man. Even to the old school generation, the Crees, the PSGs, Norris the Bosses, Jason K's, 100%. They've actually paved the way for us, but, they actually went through the same kind of grind, they created their music from an organic place as well.
Been chipping away, innit?
Yeah, chipping away. Yeah, everyone contributed, and fair play, man. I'm actually proud of where the scene's come, and now we're at the O2, and it's big Garage Nation. The first event I actually ever MC'd in before Soul Solid and all sorts, like when Terry Turbo was promoting.
What year was that?
This was end of 1996.
Wow.
So yeah, it was. I joined. Wow. Well, me and Mega hooked up at 1997 to do Soul Solid. And I remember my name was being printed on flyers, and PDS actually came into Arena 2 at Garage Nation and said, "Bro, what are you doing there? I didn't know Romeo was you. Come we go Supreme FM on Sunday." And I ended up linking up and saw Mega in there. And me and Mega used to be in the sound, so it was almost like everything is just organic, and I always say everything happens for a reason. So my car problems today happen for a reason, you know?
Sorry, don't want to keep you too much.
Yeah.
You don't like.
Please don't. I'm done now.
One more thing. So, like, you know, you're saying like the sound system days.
Yeah.
Right? So we were talking about as well earlier on in interviews about influences. The massive influence from Jamaican culture, especially the MCs or the DJs, we'll call them. The transition from that to jungle to garage.
Yes.
Was that your path as well?
That was exactly my path. So my main inspiration was my uncle. And, you know, because I don't do interviews, I never actually told this story. But my uncle was hard in the sound system. He used to run a sound system called Kilowatt. And we used to play at Carnival every single year. I was like 10 years old DJing and stuff. And but when I was at home with him, he would teach me about frequencies and EQs and how to blend this with this and what, you know, how to DJ and stuff like that. So he would teach me about, you know, all the fundamentals of music, like certain tones and melodies and, you know, things like that. And he was my biggest inspiration. Like, I actually wanted to be like him when I was younger. So his name's Ricky Stepper, legend, Ricky Stepper from Battersea. If anyone knows about Ricky Stepper, you know. But then he obviously put me on the ragga path. You know, that was my main influence. My mum obviously told me about revival music. And she used to always hold house parties. So everyone's rubbing up on the walls every weekend. And I call it belly music, listening to revival, Dennis Brown and all them people there. So then that transitioned into me going to, I was a raver, man. I was like 14. And I wasn't allowed out. My punishment was washing up plates. Coming home late was me washing up plates for months on end. But I used to go places like a Zekel's, SW1, Maximus. Wow. And I was like 14 dressing up in suits and stuff. Harvey mocks me nowadays, but yeah, I was dressing up.
It was all that back then, though, wasn't it? It was like
them
shoes.
days, shoes, you had your Patrick Cox and you had your, you know, but obviously everything was I wasn't paid for, but you end up getting hold of it. And then so I was in those environments and I became popular before I even stepped on the stage. So when I got to drum and bass raves, people knew me. And then as soon as I stepped in Arena 2 and jumped on the mic, everyone in that room knew who I was and they was rating me and pushing me forward. So we had a following before everything, you know. I mean, it's all about, I would say, the groundwork, innit? It's the groundwork, man. And obviously you guys know, you know, starting from rock bottom as well, it's that groundwork, man. But I've said enough now. I've had a mad day.
It's been a good insight. Yeah. We've learnt stuff, you know. We've known it for however long.
I feel like I need to write a book on this and put this out there. I think
if you're not a man who, even though you're natural, like you're talking to the camera, you're telling your story.
I'm talking to you. I ain't even talking. You know, this is our conversation.
Well, I think that would definitely if you did a book, be very insightful, because I think a lot of people want to know about you. You are a secret.
Introverted. I keep myself to myself. I just switch on when I go on stage.
People always ask, "What's Romeo like?" You just see him. He's there and he's gone. And he's the most chilled person in Souls. I'm not saying that because he's here, but he literally is the most laid-back, chilled person. When we're on flights together, he just goes to sleep.
No, you know why? There's a reason for everything, you know. See, when I go sleep, I'll tell you what it is. When I go sleep, I don't want to know if we crash. So I go sleep before we take off. As soon as we land and we start bumping, that's when I wake up. So I don't want to know if we crash. Bro,
thank you very much.
Appreciate you, my brother, man. Just for you guys, you know. Never again. Do not ask me to do another interview again.